You know how some women just glow and they just give off this energy and everyone loves them and everyone's drawn to them and attracted to them? People have nothing but amazing things to say about her and how she makes them feel. She is magnetic. She is attractive. She has an attractive magnetic aura, and she has an abundance of charisma. Well, I have really good news for you, because while a lot of that energy cannot be forced, it's just her natural essence. What you might not realize is that a huge part of that is actually traits that you can adopt yourself. And therefore, you can absolutely become magnetic. You just need to learn how to become magnetic. And it's easier than you think. And bear with me if that sounds a little icky to you, right? Because at face value, hearing something like that, you can become magnetic, it might sound a little icky, right? Because you think magnetism is just an aura. It's very aligned with feminine energy in that it's just a state of being. It just is, rather than something that you do and learn and force and become. Bear with me. Because while, yes, you can't become magnetic by simply following a formula of do this, XYZ, it doesn't work like that. That is true, but it's also true that magnetism isn't reserved for a select few. It's not something where you're just either born with it or you're not, and those are the cards that you've been dealt for the rest of your life. No, it doesn't work like that either. So that's what we're talking about today. How to become magnetic and exude confidence and charisma, and how to level up to become that girl. Now, without getting too woo-woo, really quickly, what is a magnetic aura, right? Like, what does that even mean? Well, in short, it's the energy that you give off. You know, when you meet someone, whether you even have a conversation with them or not, 9 times out of 10, you can get a good sense for whether they give you the ick or if their magnetism pulls you in. That's a magnetic aura. Hi, I'm Amanda, a busy full-time working mom, and I help women just like you learn how to dive into your feminine energy, become aligned with it, despite all the masculine demands in your life. Below, you'll find a link to my free newsletter where I share tips on how to become in your feminine energy, how to become more aligned with yourself, and how to just become the best version of yourself. So sign up below, it's totally free. Now, welcome to class. We're going to learn how to become magnetic. This is the first piece, and it's the most key, and I think it's the most important, and that is to simply focus on yourself. You need to determine and understand and know yourself well enough to know what your purpose is and lean into it and follow it, because when you are the youest version of yourself, magic happens and you exude magical magnetic aura. It's really hard to be magnetic when you're stuck in a job that you hate or in a relationship that doesn't serve you. This means taking care of yourself physically, mentally, spiritually. When you take care of yourself in those ways, it increases your vibration and it makes your energy more magnetic. You need to stop chasing approval from others. Your intrinsic value and happiness needs to come from within. You cannot rely on others for that. You cannot be magnetic if you have a sense of desperation and neediness because you need validation from others. That does not align with being magnetic. And you probably don't need me to even say this because we all know it, but confidence naturally draws people in. It's also worth mentioning that how you treat yourself is directly correlated and related to how people then perceive you. If you don't treat yourself very well, people are going to look at you, and I don't just mean physical looks, I mean everything, how you treat yourself, how you talk about yourself, how you value yourself. Others are going to perceive that, and if they perceive that you don't value yourself, they're not going to value you, and therefore they're not going to be magnetically attracted to you. Shifting gears a little bit, but not so much, another key to being magnetic is being unapologetically, authentically yourself. Because true magnetism comes when you are so confident and so happy with who you are as a person, exactly as you are, when you're not putting on a show. As I'm hoping you're starting to understand is that, yes, we're talking about how to become magnetic, but we're not talking about necessarily a checklist of things that you need to do. It's about being genuine and authentically yourself, and that will draw people in. And the thing is that authenticity is about drawing the right people in and drawing in the right attention, not all attention. I've heard it said that when women level up and they work on themselves, they actually get less attention from men because they then seem to be out of the league of the majority of guys, which is probably true. But what it does gain them is the attention from the men who are actually deserving of them being in their life. So the goal isn't to get everyone to like you, but it's to get the right people, the people who you will align with, attracted to you. Because like I said, a true magnet is polarizing. It attracts the right things, but it repels the ones that are wrong. Speaking about being unapologetically authentic, you need to create and respect and hold firm certain boundaries. You need to respect them if you expect anyone else to. Communicate your beliefs, your values, what you stand for, confidently, strongly, unapologetically, and clearly. And it's not about being stubborn, and you don't have to go to battle with anyone who disagrees with you, but you are who you are, and you respect the beliefs that you have, you communicate them, and people can either be for them or not. And people can agree or disagree, but that's not going to shake what you stand in. The next trait of a woman who is highly magnetic is the opinion of her that other people hold are of no concern to her. This ties back to the law of detachment, detaching yourself from the value that other people put on you because you don't need it, because you have so much value within yourself. I have a video up here where I talk more about that. Because the more that you listen to your inner voice, the closer you get to your real purpose. And the closer you get to your real purpose, the more magnetic you are. So don't overthink other people's opinions. And as you probably already know, other people's judgments are just a reflection of their own insecurities. All that matters is your own self-approval. So focus on your own validation and confidence. But something else I want to say here's a surefire way to be magnetic, and that's to be positive. Because positivity is attractive and it's, well, magnetic. Think about it. Would you rather spend your time with someone who is positive and sees the beauty in everything, sees the good in you? Or would you rather be around someone who's negative and thinks the worst of others, including you, whether they say it to your face or not? Because optimism helps manifest your desires and it draws people into you. People want to be around that. People want to absorb the positivity that you give out in the world, because that's how energy works, right? You give off an energy and the people around you absorb it. So if you believe that to be true, then you must believe that people want to absorb positivity rather than negativity. Negativity repels people. So if you're having a bad day, of course, that happens to everyone. We all have bad days, but maybe you spend that bad day by yourself rather than spilling it onto everyone else. And this all ties really nicely into the next point about how to become magnetic, which is arguably the most important point, which is that people remember how you make them feel. Not what you do, not what you say. All they remember is how they left their exchange with you feeling, how you made them feel. So it's really important that you focus on being interested in people rather than sharing your own story and making sure that you appear interesting. And this is not something that a lot of people do. This isn't super common. I'll put it bluntly. As humans, we are very self-involved for the most part. So the more that you can give genuine compliments, give people the chance to shine and to speak about themselves, the more people will leave exchanges with you feeling on top of the world and like you really care about them. And this is not about faking. Let me be so clear about that. Again, this isn't something that you're like, okay, I'm gonna go meet this new person, I'm gonna go ask them questions and blah blah blah. It's not about just checking the boxes. It's about genuinely being interested, because again, we're talking about energy. You can't fake energy. You can change what you do, you can change your behaviors, but you cannot fake energy, and people will see through inauthenticity immediately. And many people just don't know how to listen. They speak more than they listen. You know, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. So if you want to become more magnetic, then you need to be more interested in what people actually care about. Ask them questions and listen, truly actively listen. You've probably heard this before, but when you're having a conversation with someone, especially someone new, and you're learning about them and they're learning about you, you need to actively listen. You don't just ask the question, half hear the words that they're saying, but really your brain is just thinking about how you're going to answer the question, hoping that they're going to ask it of you. People can sense that, and it doesn't feel good, and it's not magnetic. It means so much to people when you remember little details about their life. if you know that they have a pet and you ask about it, if you're having one conversation with them and they mention that they're going on vacation the next week, and then you see them a month later and you ask them about their vacation and you remember a little tiny thing they said, maybe they said that they were going to go to a certain restaurant, and you're able to recall that the next time you meet them and you say, how was it when you went to that French restaurant? That means so much to people. And it's also such a benefit to you, because not only are you becoming more magnetic, and that's cool for you, but it builds such a deeper connection that's beneficial for you too. And so you make someone else feel good and you feel more connected, and it's just a much more harmonious way to move through this world. People who are magnetic are passionate and they're excited, and they just have this zest for life and this zest for their passions that other people are drawn to, regardless of whether they care about the subject matter or not. If someone is excited and passionate and talking about something, even if you don't care about that thing, it's almost like you are excited through that person. It's not just that you're excited for them, but they make you feel excited about the thing, even though you don't care about the thing, because you're just feeding off the excitement that they have for it. The example that comes to mind, which I would imagine a lot of you would be able to relate to, is every year, every fall, my husband joins multiple fantasy football leagues. I kind of enjoy football to the degree that I watch Taylor Swift's Boyfriend and I make food on Sundays, and it's a nice experience, but I don't really care about football. But when my husband gets so animated about his team and he's talking about trades that are happening or about his fantasy league, and I don't even know enough jargon to really properly dive into this example, but I think you know what I mean. He talks about it, he gets so excited about it, or he gets upset about it, but it's still this, dramatic experience. And I feed into that and I enjoy talking to him about it, even though I could not care less about football itself. I care about the fact that he's excited about it and he's passionate about it is magnetizing me to that conversation and to him as a person. So pursue whatever lights you up and talk about it and be excited about it with people, whether you think they actually care about the subject matter or not, because that doesn't matter. What matters is your excitement for it. Those are the keys to becoming magnetic. It's not complicated, and to some degree, you don't have much control over it, because your energy is your energy, and that is going to exude whatever it is going to exude to people, whether you're in a high vibration or low vibration, high energy, low energy, feminine energy, masculine energy, whatever it may be, people are going to be drawn to it or repelled to it. So that's essentially how to become magnetic. And as you can probably see by now, while there are lots of things that you can do to help become more magnetic, it's not really about doing as much as it is just shifting your own inner energy, so that way your outer energy can become more magnetic. If you want to learn more about similar topics, you can check out either of these videos here, and don't forget to subscribe to catch more, and check out the newsletter down below. It's totally free. I promise to provide value. There's nothing worse than a crappy newsletter, so I'm not going to send you one.